Oh, hey, Stuart, Kripke.
You know us?
Of course I know you. What do you want?
You share scenes with Melissa in episode 3. Bernadette, along with Howard, became such a lifeline for Stuart during the original run, giving him a place to call home.
I just have never been in this room while you're awake.
How strange was it not only hearing Melissa slip back into that voice,
Excuse the mess. I gave up giving a shit.
but watching her channel such a completely different version of Bernadette?
Yeah, it was amazing because she just walked right back into the role of Bernadette, but then transforms into a literal demon.
She's a demon. Oh, she could be a little. I wouldn't call her a demon.
You know, in a way, like it was so un-Bernadette-like.
You like magic?
Not really.
Okay.
She's wielding magic, but at the same time, when you think back to her character on the original show, it's like, oh yeah, actually there were trace amounts of angry.
Yeah, she had an edge. Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory made no shortage of jokes about Bernadette's height or her occasional mean streak.
I'm nice to everyone!
What was Melissa Rauch's reaction to hearing that she'd be playing an evil sorceress terrorizing Pasadena the way Godzilla once tore through Tokyo?
She was thrilled. When Melissa was over the moon.
Yeah,
You're going to
loved
be 60 feet high.
She-
Oh, fantastic. I'm 60 feet high.
She kept wanting to do more takes in the mocap because they built like a replica of the city that she could stomp through, and she was so happy stomping through it as herself. She's like, let me do it one more time.
We have everything we need. And she said, I want to stomp through the city more.
I think we're gonna need the outtakes at some point from that
They're
one.
available.
Lauren, by episode 3, we already see the emotional toll this adventure is taking on Denise. She's been pulled from her own universe. She's struggling to process this so-called destiny with Stuart and winds up drowning her sorrows at a bar. Do you think it's that loss of control that ultimately sends her to the bottle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit of that. I think in episode 2, we understand that she is struggling with alcoholism. So
She's only unhappy when she's sober, and that's not very often.
no, I have a little problem with the. So she has a little bit of that just naturally as her go-to for dealing with emotions. And then, yeah, the situation's so insane that it's like, there's just, what's more comfortable than going to like a dive bar? You know, like it's very familiar in whatever universe you're in.
Brian, you get to have a full-on magic battle with Wil Wheaton. He's throwing Vulcan salutes, you're throwing devil horns.
Yeah, you caught it. Nice.
It was great. I mean, obviously, so much of what audiences see in that sequence is coming together in post-production. But what was it like shooting that sequence with Wil?
We riffed that because we just naturally both went for it. And we realized we were both doing it, and we laughed. And then Kyle, our director, caught it. And he goes, are you doing this? And then are you doing this? And we go, yeah, we are. And he goes, more of that. And then checked in with the showrunners, and they were all like, yeah, that fits. That was a fun day of, anytime you get an improv through as an actor, it's already a cherry on the top of the fun day that you're already having.
Kyle directed that episode. We had 3 amazing directors on this. Kyle Newacek was a director and executive producer, and Kyle comes from What We Do in the Shadows and other amazing credits, and he helped sort of set the visual tone of the show. And then Jonathan Frakes and Robbie Duncan McNeil did the other episodes. All 3 of them, we were looking for people who were really good genre directors who knew comedy. And it's something that all 3 of those guys, they fit those 2 buckets, and all 3 were amazing.
It was a fun day to be on set because a lot of the effects are practical. And so there's moments where like they were blowing stuff off the shelves and stuff with just like wind cannons and stuff.
I'm still limping because of that day. I hate to be that guy, but I took a fall that day because they put a prop there that wasn't there and suddenly was, and I ran and tripped over this prop off camera.
It was actually there to be safe. It was there. They glued a book to the ground, wasn't it? Wasn't it a book?
Yeah.
It was like a fake copy of Lord of the Rings, and so that it was always going to be there.
No, it was a 1,200-page book. It was, it's not just a little book.
This fucking tome.
It wasn't. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. It was
poor guy wiped out.
It was
on
the Tolkien Chronicles.
Yeah, and I was like, I think like the Silmarillion was in there too. It was
it was huge.
And he wiped out on that, but
Hard.
the whole day was crazy because they would have the prop guys on the side, like when he moves the comic book bins, they were dragging him apart.
That's one of my favorite moments because that was practical. That was them moving those things on me. Me doing the magic thing, but then them just grips and crew guys pulling those giant bins of comic books.
It was really fun.
So fun.
Wil Wheaton, my old friend.
This is, of course, the same set the Big Bang Theory first introduced Will as Sheldon's foil during a Mystic Warlords of Ka tournament.
Sulfur, brimstone. Problem, Wil Wheaton?
How much fun was it bringing him back to where it all started under such heightened circumstances?
Will had an incredible amount of fun. He said that he always wanted to play a character, like a superhero character that could, do things with his mind, that had, telekinetic powers like that. Will had a huge amount of fun. It was that fight was very difficult to shoot. A lot of coordination between practical effects, planned visual effects, choreography between Brian and Will and all that. So I think it take 3 days.
It took a while. It took a long time in post to get it right.
It took about 2 or 3 days to shoot that, and then that episode was finished last because it had the most visual effects in it.
And,
let's talk a little bit about the WGA though. The Wizards Guild of America, which went on strike, and
It's ridiculous. We were out for 6 months and basically everyone got a handful of magic beans.
Look, that's an Easter egg for 4,000 people. So
it's true. It is really inside baseball. Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Okay, I have no time for this.
At one point in this episode, Alexa, or this version of Alexa, tells Stuart and Kripke that Sheldon is in New York, starring in a revival of Man of La Mancha. In this universe, is it safe to say Dr. Cooper is enjoying a theater career not unlike Jim Parsons?
In that universe, in the magic universe, he is. That is what
because he couldn't have been a scientist.
He's a Broadway star.
In that universe.
Yeah.